This whole thing is gonna be awkward.
It's fine.
Alright. So welcome guys from PokeMMO and ladies and everything in between. Um, nope, I forgot to play this. Anyway, this is the music in the background if you're wondering. I'm here with Orange Maniac. Um, and yeah, we wanted to do, I wanted to do, and then I forced Orange to do it with me. To analyze some of the doubles drafts, and to get some content going in general on the events of PokeMMO. And yeah, Orange, you want to say anything about yourself? Flash your EPing around?
Yeah, I'm really on the doubles hype train lately, as most can see. It's largely has to do with me starting to take part in the VGC scene. Start to really enjoy my Pokemon playing doubles after I got into VGC, and
Yeah, you've been doing quite well, right?
yeah, I did qualify for the latest World Championship so far, which was supposed to be in August 2020.
Oh,
But
you actually qualify for Worlds? I didn't know that yet.
yeah, I am actually qualified for Worlds, but the Worlds for 2020 got cancelled. But
Mm-hmm.
luckily enough, the Pokemon Company told that everybody who had the invite by then
Yeah.
will keep it for the next Worlds. So I'm just waiting my opportunity to play in the Worlds whenever the world
Okay,
is back to
exciting.
normal.
And do you know
Yeah,
where it's gonna be?
I assume it was supposed to be in London. I think they said it's gonna be London for 2021 if it's going to happen.
Mm-hmm.
Well, we can't be sure it's even going to happen this year, but
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure they try to keep it in London because this was like the first time they kept it out of US. So I'm like
Yeah.
really excited for that.
Yeah, it sounds exciting. Like, yeah, I know you got into VGC, but I didn't know you got a Royal invite yet. Then you also
Yeah,
played for a World Cup, right?
yeah, I played for the World Cup. I represented Team Nordic, which was
Mhm.
I'm from Finland, and it was the first time we got like a team for Finland, Sweden, Norway, Iceland, and Denmark, and that was a really good opportunity for me and some other Finnish players to kind of try to put our name out there.
Oh, yeah, it's pretty cool. As for myself, well, I'm known as Think Nice on PokeMMO, or Think Nicer, for unknown reasons. Anyway, yeah, I mean, I've been a competitive player from the start because of Pokemon. Actually, I didn't know anything about competitive Pokemon before that. I've dabbled in some Smogon, haven't really mm, been invested in that actually. And then I took a big break from competitive Pokemon overall, like 5 6 years, and came back to Pokemon. I keep calling it Pokemon for some reason. Came back to Pokemon, and yeah, I'm like a big hoster basically. I like to host shit like the PSL. Most people know I'm the original host, and now I'm hosting the PokeMMO Battle Series, which is a draft league. And actually, funny enough, Orange is the guy that made the first draft league in Pokemon MMO. That's right.
Yeah, a few years ago, I think I called it PokeMMO Battle Association, which was blatantly stolen from somewhere. But
Yeah,
yeah, same idea. I did it only for singles, but I'm really happy that Think Nice decided to
that's me.
expand it to doubles.
Wow. Yeah, and actually, I find the doubles community in Pokemon, even though it's not played as much as OU, it's kind of active uh, in a weird way. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I feel like doubles players are like the most enthusiastic about their format slash tier
Mm-hmm.
in PokeMMO. Like
Yeah,
there's not
like
as
GB
many of
Weed.
them. Yeah, like there's not as many as doubles players as there are
Yeah.
for OU. Even I would say UU and NU players are lately like close to be larger in numbers, but But yeah, I feel like doubles players are really enthusiastic because it offers something else, and like the way to play doubles is just so different. Like it's just like mechanically and dynamically, it's just so different.
It's a completely different beast, that's for sure.
Yeah, I would even say it's a different game. Like you have the same creatures,
Yeah.
but the way you approach it is just completely different.
Mm-hmm.
And for me, when I transferred as a singles player to VGC, it was just like it took like months for me to even grasp the whole idea how I should play doubles. Like, and
Yeah. As in singles, I think one of the most important things is switching, right? And in doubles, switching, it obviously happens. It just, you often focus more on the interaction between the Pokemon that are out right now.
yeah, that's true. And also, I feel like, well, singles is also, but I think doubles is like all about positioning. And I feel like in singles, I did my best when I was fearless. Like I made reads
Mm-hmm.
all the time that I felt like I have to make. When I play doubles, I don't make as much reads. Like if I don't have to.
Yeah, you can actually form more of a game plan, right?
Yes, I would say sort of yes. So it's like, yeah, that's actually a good way to put it. But but yeah, when I started to play VGC and doubles, seriously for the first time, I recognized that I was just trying to read my opponent every turn.
Yeah.
And I just recognized like, no, that's not the
best way to play it. I mean, sometimes you have to play it like that, but no.
Yeah, but you only really need to when your matchup kind of forces you to. But you need to like recognize when you have a good matchup in doubles, and that you can basically just outposition your opponent if you play smart.
Yeah, true. Well, we made a whole different kind of video. But let's focus on the draft now. You're on the same page as I am, right? The double series teams.
Yeah. Well.
Right. So you've done the draft, and I've done the draft. So anything that stood out to you, like just in general about the draft?
I feel like the most of the drafts were really smart, and I felt like they were kind of reactive. I don't know. It just feels from my perspective a little bit, but so many picks. Like I feel like, especially when I look at my own draft, I feel like for example, when I took something like Torkoal, which I think was a rather unexpected pick at that point, I feel like many players started to
react to that,
react to that Torkoal pick, and there's other maybe like surprise picks that like other players reacted quite quickly, and I feel like that's actually quite a high level of doing a draft league. Like they hadn't just write 10 mons in their sheet and they're like, I'm just gonna get these. No, they actually like look at what our others have, and they like, I feel like many drafts reacted quite well to what others were taking. And considering there is like only a minute to 90 seconds to pick, I'm surprised how well some teams adapted to the teams of the other players.
Yeah, that was also kind of my experience while drafting for myself. Like this is the first time I'm doing anything like this.
Right.
And then we had like a general game plan, like Pink and I, of what we wanted to do, which also changed last second before we started the draft, but that's beside the point. We'll come to that later. But yeah, we had like a general outline of what we wanted, right? And then we kept flexible basically, and a lot of picks that were picked like right before we could take them. For example, the Jolteon that got picked right before we could pick it because I really wanted Jolteon, but oh well. Some things like that. Should we look at Zai's picks?
Zai's team is very interesting. When I first looked at it, I didn't know what's going on. But like the more I think about it, like he has like reactive tools to basically almost any kind of team I can imagine. Like that's not typically how I build my teams. I usually build, like, I would say, like, proactive teams. Like, I try to gain the momentum. I feel like Zai's seems slightly like reactive. Like, he
Yeah,
has mons in all speed tiers. He have different typings. Like, I feel like he's like well versed in like playing against any kind of team composition, but like
yeah,
he's not necessarily setting up himself,
true.
which is not what I personally prefer. But like, first when I look at Zai's team, I was like, I don't know what's going on here, and I was slightly surprised because I know he's one of the best doubles players in the game, and he's a great team builder. So I thought he was a little bit drunk when I saw this first time, but when I was like really starting to think about it, and I was like, actually, like, I kind of like this team.
Yeah, it is a very versatile team, right? It can do
Yeah,
many things. And it has actually, like, even his last 3, 4 picks are very strong. Uh, when most people are starting to grasp at straws, from what's left. And Zai still has, like, really capable Pokemon
yeah,
in that
absolutely.
spot. Like the Slowbro and a Dusknoir. And this Scavalier was a really nice pickup for him.
Oh yeah, your slow bro for um, 7th round is insane. That's
Hmm.
just that's like one of the best picks, honestly, you can get for that late. So, but yeah, yeah, he has like 2 trick room setters. He has like
Yeah,
doesn't really
he has a
have.
very. I mean, if there's a game plan that he has, it's Trick Room, right? And then he can react with other things.
Yeah, that's what I would like to say. But he has like, yeah, his fastest mon is Zoroark, and he has like decent speed like Rotomo and Dragonite and
Hmm.
Gliscor, which keeps a solid fast mode.
Yeah, and
If that's
he has the extreme speed from Dragonite
yeah,
and Mach Punch from Conkeldurr, so he has strong priority as well.
yeah. So yeah, that's basically what I think about Zai's team. Also, I love the Munchlax pick last. I
I
mean,
don't know what it's
he
for,
didn't get his
but
Snorlax, but he get his older,
yeah,
I
who
mean,
picks
a younger
Snorlax?
brother.
Let's see. Oh, I see it here. It's in Paco's Fighter, Naga Hex and RDO. I'll get to
Yeah,
that.
I'm pretty sure they did
Anything
it
that
to
you think
mess
is
with
like?
Zai.
Oh, sorry.
Nah, it's fine. I just say I'm pretty sure they pick it just to mess
Uh,
with Zai.
high level drafting right here.
Yeah.
Any weaknesses that you see in the team?
Yeah, like I said, for me, I would still consider as a slight weakness that it's a little bit reactive. Like, I
Yeah,
feel like if it's facing like a really fast team, it's like always hitting second, which is fine since you have Porygon too, which is extremely difficult to one shot, or I mean 2 shot and
yeah,
kill in one turn with fast mons because it has such an immense bulk. But still, for the long duration of the battle, I feel like it's a little bit too slow in a sense. Like,
yeah.
fast teams late game could like
It's
be a
true.
really
It's
much of a
true. He
problem.
could get in trouble late game when Trick Room
Yeah,
is over, basically. But I mean,
yeah,
he still has a really bulky team.
yeah. And he has like the two of the best priority moves, which are Mach Punch, Conkeldurr, and Extreme Speed
Yeah,
Dragonite, which means for a late game, I mean, even if the Trick Room ends, you still have the priority pressure, which you can
yeah. And he still has.
which you can
He
use.
even has a Tailwind user in Gliscor.
I mean, yeah, realistically, I don't ever expect him to use it, but it's there. So,
Hmm.
if he needs it. But I mean,
And Zai was first pick, right? What do you think about first pick being Porygon 2?
I was. I mean, I already told him. He told me he's gonna pick P2 before even the
Yeah.
draft happened. I was like, "Are you serious?" And yeah, but I think it's a great pick. Honestly, it gives your team so many ways to go, many different ways. Like, it's a trick for a mon, sure, but it's like,
Yeah,
I
it
feel like it's
has
the best.
many good tools. Yeah.
Yeah, and it answers fast teams the best
Hmm.
in a sense. Like, his team isn't fast, but yeah, I really like the team, and I'm really looking forward to see if any fast mode
Yeah,
can cause him trouble, or whether he can actually
for sure.
hold that off.
I think he did lose a game. Because we're
Against
on
Julian, I
week
think.
3 now, and Julian.
Yeah,
Yeah, I
it
think
was
so.
a really
Right?
close game. But
And those are
yeah.
like a few of the best teams that we have, probably.
Yeah. All
Anyway,
right.
let's go to
Shall we move on
mine.
to yours?
Yeah, pick me apart.
All right. Well, you picked what I would have considered the number one pick, which
Yeah.
is Targekiss. I
So
think Targekiss is the most useful mon especially for draft league. Its move pool is just insane. Its support move pool is among the best in the game, just after Blastoise, which is the next,
yeah,
surprisingly. But it is just the overall most value you can get for one mon, especially in a draft league.
yeah. I'll say I was like really discussing with Pink what we would pick, and we were actually saying we were thinking between Whimsicott and Togekiss.
Yeah.
And for the longest time, we were saying if Togekiss doesn't, if Whimsicott doesn't get picked, we pick Whimsicott first.
Yeah.
And then like a few minutes before the draft, I was like, you know what? I actually don't want that because I feel like with Whimsicott, you're already positioning yourself for the rest of the draft to be reactive to the rest of the team because Whimsicott is a great Pokemon. It learns a lot of things, but it always reacts kind of, except when you're using Tailwind, right?
Yeah, it does learn Trick Room, but you're right. Like, I actually think Whimsicott is extremely disruptive mon. Like, it's even as a Trick Room user, you like really hate to play against it because it has Encore. It has its own Trick Room. The worst part about setting up Trick Room in the face of Whimsicott is that you do not know if they try to Encore your Trick Room user,
Yeah,
or they try to Trick Room themselves. But I agree that I feel like Togekiss just allows you to take your team to multiple directions, whereas Whimsicott kind of limits you to a few months. And especially Whimsicott is good as a fake tier support, which
yeah,
means you would kind of have to start to look for immediate special sweepers rather than having all kinds of options.
yeah, that's true. Anyway, then we have the rest of the draft.
Well, I think Ferrothorn for second pick is not good.
Mhm.
I don't like it. I think Ferrothorn is a great mon in like if you go to battle with your opponent and you don't know each other's teams. In draft league, having 4 times fire weakness, which is basically one of the most used coverage types, is very difficult to use. I feel like there's very many teams where you just see so many threats to Ferrothorn, and I feel like it doesn't feel easy to use.
Yeah, it hasn't been easy to use because we're like 3 weeks in now and we haven't been able to really use it yet because
Oh yeah,
we haven't actually used it in the first 2 weeks.
yeah.
And who knows if we're using it the third week?
We'll see. But
Yeah,
then
we'll see.
Volcarona, I'm surprised these are in this order. Volcarona in third round is nuts. Like, this is the biggest mistake the draft league did. How did this draft league allow Volcarona to go in third round? It's just incredible Pokemon, and especially
Well, the
like
third round is
with this.
like because Fairphone was my second pick, and then I went to Zai, and I went to me again, so there wasn't much time for.
Oh yeah, that's true. Okay, but it's still like the fact I would have assumed Volcarona is top 10 picks, like first round.
Yeah.
But anyways, like Volcarona is insane. Especially we talked about in Imabe how much of a threat Volcarona is. Like, normally when you have just normal doubles, you have Pelipper and Tyranitar, kind of making Volcarona's life hard. But now getting Weather Setter is extremely hard. So having like decent checks for Volcarona is very difficult.
Yeah, and it's been a threat in the first 2 weeks that we've been using it too. It's like we're basically like, okay, we're gonna set up, and then we'll sit and watch to see what will happen. Basically, it's like you said, you answer us, right? Like, we set up, and then we'll see what you're gonna do about it.
Yeah. Then B-Sharp, I'm a little bit going though month by month, but there's a theme. Like B-Sharp again, I just don't think it's a fourth round pick. it's a fun tool. Like it's a fun one to mess up your opponent's head, but building your team around it, I don't really like it.
Mhm.
So it's I think it's a great mod, but I feel like it's
Yeah, I think we needed like a good physical attacker.
yeah, that's fair.
But there weren't that many left. They were really good.
Yeah, I feel like it relies so much on reading your opponent. So, but
Yeah.
like, well, I would actually later come to the fact that your team is kind of has problem with Trick Room. So Bishop is actually great mon against Trick Room because it sucker punches Reniculus and Chandelure, so that's a good thing. So Psychics
Yeah.
and Ghosts are feeling really uneasy. So I feel like it helps the Trick Room matchup when I look at the team as a whole.
Yeah.
But yeah,
But
the rest of it.
but that's the thing also, when we were like planning out this team, we already kind of knew like we're not really going the Trick Room route. So we do need some mons like Fairphone and Bishop that do well against them, basically. But yeah.
Yeah, I think that's fine, but I would still say against hard Trick Room you will have a lots of problems.
Oh yeah, for sure.
But yeah, when it comes to Kanga Swampert, well, Kanga is just it's just perfect. Like when you have Volcarona, you need to have Kanga. You're a fast fake out user. So
yeah,
Kanga
it's really good.
It's great for that. Swampert for Wide Guard, Vanillux to. I mean, also great pick 7th round. The Weather Setter. You should always take a Weather Setter 7th round, whatever it is. Then just the last 3 months, I think are very solid. Manectric really fits the team, considering you have Togekiss and Starmie, and Heracross was slightly weird. It's amazing singles mon, really difficult to use in doubles, but considering, yeah, having some physical more pressure is good to have. So I overall I think this team has a really good fast mode. I think for a fast mode, priority Tailwind would have been optimal, but Togekiss can have Tailwind, so
it can, yeah.
So it's not like not the worst.
Yeah, it's kind of like a balanced team, right? It's not really Trick Room, it's not really Tailwind. It's more in between.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, but I would still say this is a fast team, based on the fact that it doesn't really ever want to go Trick Room. But if it does go in Trick Room, it has some tricks to try to mess up the opponent.
Yeah.
But yeah, I would say I'm curious to see if the team can hold its own against Trick Room based teams. But overall, I think it's a very solid draft. And
we're gonna see next week, week 4.
Oh yeah,
we're up against you.
Oh really? Okay, yeah.
Yeah, and then we have Quiller, which has a very obvious theme if you look at the whole team.
Yeah, there's lots of redirection.
Yeah.
Lots of it. Three. I think there's 3.
Yeah, Magmar, Among Us, Blastoise. Yeah. Don't know if the other ones get something.
Yeah, I think Blastoise, Hydreigon, Among Us, Scizor is an amazing starting core. Like they complement each other very well. They remove each other's
checks and threats. Yeah,
checks exactly. Among Us is a great mon to really mess up the opponent. Then I'm surprised about the Magmar. I feel like Follow Me is great, but you already have Blastoise and Among Us, so I really am not sure if Magmar was needed.
Especially as a 5th pick, right? Like Magmar could be a 9th or 10th pick, basically.
Yeah, I agree. Someone else would have probably taken it, but I don't really think it was really needed to get Magmar so early. Then I also think Jolteon is a bit weird, especially because I'm actually one of the people that abuses Jolteon maybe the most in MMO doubles, but I really one of my main reasons is that it just destroys the main 2 Follow Me users, which are Togekiss and Blastoise, and you already have other of them. So I kind of Jolteon is okay, but I feel like it's not going to perform great in a draft.
I think for draft, Jolteon is really good at just setting screens. Like one of the fastest screen users.
Screens is really useful. You're right about that. So I assume its main role is going to be about setting screens.
Yeah. I
Then
think Mandibuzz and Toxic Croak are also kind of weird in this.
yeah. Especially because the team is already like it has lots of dark, like, okay, they're not really weak to the same things. Like Hydreigon and Mandibuzz, surprisingly, I think they only share like one weakness. So like, even though both dark types, they're not really weak to the same things.
Yeah.
But yeah, considering Hydreigon learns Snarl, like I feel like Mandibuzz's main role is to snarl the opponent. But if that's your game plan, you could also do it with Hydreigon, and using both of them kind of.
Yeah.
I feel like they overlap a little bit, and Mandibuzz is just the bulkier passive version of Hydreigon in a sense.
Yeah, I think Quiller's team could maybe be a little bit better if he instead of Magmar or Jolteon picked up like a Belly Drum user. That would have been really scary.
Yeah, I feel like with those two follow me users, if the rest of the team
just throw setup on it, you know.
Yeah, that would have been really scary. Like I would absolutely hate to play against two redirections.
It's because like if you're against a team like that, you just need one turn where you kind of misplay and then they set up and then they run away with the game.
Yeah. So I really like the first 4 Mons.
Yeah,
like I think that the first 4 Mons were probably among the best.
Yeah, they're so strong, for sure.
Yeah, but then Magmar, Jolteon, and Mandibuzz, I feel like are. I'm willing to see if they perform well in Draft League, but I'm a little bit suspicious. I'm sorry to say.
Yeah, we're gonna see. I don't remember if they're like 1-1 right now or 0-2, but either once. And then we have the next team, which is a very curious first pick, I think.
Yeah, I mean, everyone knows that I'm a little bit of hater towards Gengar.
Well, I didn't, so new for me. In doubles, you mean?
Yeah, I kind of always rated it lower than most players. This is also to come back. I feel like squishy Pokemon are difficult to use in doubles. I always talk about the glass cannon syndrome. In singles, if you have a glass cannon and you knock out your opponent, then your glass cannon stays alive and doesn't get retaliated. But using glass cannons in doubles is very difficult.
That's why you still have the other Pokemon.
Exactly. So that's why I'm kind of surprised to see Gengar go first. I personally, I think it's like a 3rd or maybe 4th round pick.
I also think like it's weird that Pelipper was left for 3rd pick also.
Yeah, I was actually thinking of. Well, I'll come to my pick, my draft later. But I was about to pick Pelipper first, but then IMAB was like, nope, we're not going that way. But yeah, I'm surprised to see no one wanted to go to the rain route, and especially because there's so many Swift Swim users. So even if like somebody picked Pelipper early, you would still have so many Swift Swimmers. So even if your opponents tried to pick like Kingdra and Ludicolo to mess you up, you still have lots of mons you could use with Pelipper. So it's probably among the best weather setters, probably the best weather setter there is. So
because it doesn't
really lucky.
It does more than just set weather. That's why Pelipper is good.
Yeah,
I think it's just
another thing that just catches my eye in this draft. Like you have Pelipper, but only one Swift Sim user.
Wait, like, the Ludicolo, right?
Yeah, and also 9th round. Like
Ludicolo was left for a long time.
It was well. He must have known that nobody else wants it, which is a fair assessment, I suppose. But it's still like the fact he picked Pelipper and didn't pick a Swift Swim user until 9th round.
The absolute balls on this guy.
Absolute balls. Kind of surprises me.
I mean, Kingdra's picked 2nd. So
yeah, he also has Azumarill, which actually I think was really gonna make use of rain. So it's not just Ludicolo.
Yeah, Aqua Jet with a belly drum. It's like.
Yeah.
I do love Arcanine though. Like, it's not that good in doubles right now, right? But I think like in a draft format, it's really annoying.
Yeah, I think in normal doubles, Arca is like B tier mon, but when you remove T-Tars and Pelipers in every team, Arcanine's gonna really shine. So I feel like in draft format it might be like an A tier, A plus tier mon. So Arcanine is very solid. I'm just surprised to see it like blend in a kind of a rain team, but it's. I mean, rain teams generally have at least one fire attacker to pressure the grass type.
Grass
So
types, yeah. It's funny that he has also a shift tree, maybe for opposing sun or something that he uses shift tree.
yeah, I really didn't get it, and I was low key. Wait, no, I actually picked Saucebuck. Never mind. I wasn't sure if because Shifter is one of the ones I wanted for my Sun team, but I even forgot it existed.
Yeah, because you picked Lilligant.
Yeah. Well, my last pick was Saucebuck, and I also realized I could have picked Shiftry, but whatever. But yeah, Shifter is kind of weird, but it has Fake Out, so
that's true.
It's not terrible. Like he has a Belly Drum Azumarill, which really is gonna make use of the dual Fake Out with Ludicolo and Shiftry. I think it's a solid. Well, I think the weirdest pick is Durant, to be honest.
Durant, yeah.
I wouldn't trust my life to that 80% accuracy.
Draco always hits, man.
Dear God.
And Draco's 9%.
I'm just like, I feel like it's an okay draft. I'm just baffled about the order. Like,
yeah, the order is all out of order. Let's say it like that.
Exactly.
All right, let's move on to Yuno and Yuki, which also play in singles, just like Captain Baklava, I think, and Quiller.
Yeah.
And there they actually have like a whole rain team, but that's not at all what we're seeing here.
Yeah.
Hip on top is great.
Yeah, that's a extremely solid doubles one. So useful. I mean, it's just the biggest toolbox when it comes to being a single like a doubles mon.
Intimidate, Fake Out, White Guard.
Yeah.
Foresight.
What really catches. Yeah, exactly. What really catches my eye about this team is it's surprisingly polarized, which is like you have extremely fast mons and you have extremely slow mons.
Yeah, now that you say it, it's like glass cannons and then you have walls, basically.
Yeah, but that is actually a surprisingly common way to build. Like that's how you actually build Trick Room teams. Surprisingly enough, having fast Pokemon for Trick Room teams is extremely helpful for two reasons. You can pressure the opposing Trick Room, and also you have mons that are ready to take the position when the Trick Room ends.
Yeah, and also in Trick Room they switch out last, which is also nice.
Yeah, so also like having that kind of a polarized speed can be extremely useful in doubles when you play like a Trick Room archetype, which is surprising because like the first Trick Room user was taken the 7th round, like that. But yeah,
I mean, Kofakus also gets. Oh, that's the 7th round. Sorry.
Yeah, but to be honest, when you look at it, you're like you see like fast mode. You see fast mode for the first 6 months, but then I feel like it went to a completely different direction with
the last 4
and Rhydon.
And why is Asparagus before Dusclops? Kind of.
Yeah, they are. Dusclops is surprisingly disruptive. I'm kind of surprised to see both of them in the same team.
Yeah.
But they still function a little bit differently, I guess.
I mean, Kofagus has things like Nasty Plot, right?
Exactly. It's more offensive, whereas Dusclops is just like, if I get Trick Room, I win.
Yeah, Ally Switch, Trick Room, all those kinds of shenanigans.
Yeah. So I think it's going to be very difficult to play against because it has that underlying trick room mode, but it has like those fast mons. So
Yeah,
yeah,
it's really hard to predict what they're gonna bring, I guess. If you're
yeah, I
facing it.
expect surprisingly enough, because even though most of the mons, the trick room mons were picked late, I'm expecting to see like trick room mode most of the games.
Yeah.
But then it has like two, maybe one or two fast mons, like Mian Xiao, Alakazam, Darmanitan, to have like the fast pressure,
Mm-hmm.
and then you have like the overall tools like Hitmontop and Clefable.
Yeah.
I'm kind of surprised to see Dangrowth there.
Yeah, I do think they kind of weird picks. Like I wouldn't pick Clefable second, I think, and Tangrowth third,
Yeah,
or like no way.
yeah, I agree. I think Clefable and Tangrowth are just a little bit too early, but
We'll see.
I mean, look at the team. Like, I feel like the rest of the team also would have been relatively late picks. So I suppose they just knew what they wanted and they just went for it. You know?
Yeah, I guess so. All right.
But yeah, Tangrowth does learn Rage Powder, so
Oh, it
I'm
does?
pretty sure.
Oh, I
Yeah,
didn't
so
know
it's
that.
it's a redirect mon, which, you know, to give some credit for it.
Yeah, I guess they have two then. The Clefable, the Tangrowth. And
Yeah,
then they have ally switch with Dusclops, so pretty annoying. And
Yep.
and Hitmontop actually.
Yeah, exactly.
God, this team is annoying. Did you
It
face
is the
Did you face them
definition
already or
of.
no?
I am playing them this week.
Oh, this week. Okay. Well, let's keep going then.
All right.
Paco's Fighter, with Metagross and Whimsicott. It's the first two picks,
Very solid.
and the third also very solid actually.
Yeah, a PokeMMO is. I think it's extremely useful for a format like this because it can perform in a tailwind spam. It can go trick room mode. I feel like especially looking at the rest of the team, how it has like a fast and slow mode.
Yeah.
You can like never know if a PokeMMO is going to be fast Blizzard spammer or if it's going to be a trick room Blizzard spammer.
Yeah.
So
And the
so
first three Pokemon are also so good just with the Whimsicott Tailwind, right?
yeah, exactly. It's I mean, what you can see is they're all weak to fire, which I mean,
Yeah.
that's a bit of a yikes. But I mean, you have the Gastrodon,
Yeah, Snorlax and
Gastrodon,
Thick Fat.
and you have thick fat Snorlax. So like, if you really face like a fire weak team, you can go like a Trick Room team with Snorlax and Gastrodon to kind of not have a terrible fire matchup. But
Yeah.
yeah,
I mean, just because you have your first three picks are like the most important picks doesn't mean you have to bring them, right?
yeah, exactly. They give you like tools to take your team any kind of direction.
Yeah, like the first week, we actually only brought one onto the top three because the rest was just mediocre.
Yeah.
The matchup. But yeah, not much to say about this team. It's very solid overall. Has distinctive modes, I'd say. It has a good tailwind mode, has a good trick room mode.
Yeah, that's really something that I think it's useful in doubles, is to have the solid trick room and tailwind one, which a team has a very good fast and very good slow mode. I think defensively, it's. I mean, it's not bad. It's probably defensively better than my team is, but I think it like the typings have a little bit.
Yeah, because like you said, fire, but then also fighting, kind of like strong fighting moves.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, but it's
it's solid for sure.
It's definitely a solid team.
All right, let's move on to the Taco Brothers.
Yeah,
with your first pick, maybe.
Was going to be, yes. Yeah, to quickly go mine, we were thinking of Trick Room or Rain Mode. Honestly, I was gonna pick Ridiculous, but when we got picked, I was like, do I go Rain Mode then? But then we decided to still go Trick Room Mode. But anyways, yeah, Ridiculous, in my opinion, maybe among the best doubles mon in the game. it's the pioneer of Trick Room teams. It does it all. It sets it up. It spams. It like does enormous damage. It's just
Magic
I'm not
card is
surprised to see it.
incredible.
Yeah, I'm not surprised to go to see it first pick. But what really surprises me in this team is like when you see Renickles, you would automatically assume this is going to be a Trick
Yeah, for sure.
Trick Room team, and this team, simply put, is not.
I don't know what it is actually.
This is, yeah. I mean, I am aware that Renickles can be used like as its armor, Calm Mind.
Yeah,
kind of
which is a pretty good set also.
Yeah, Juggernaut. But I would expect for that set to at least have like multiple Follow Me. This team has only Follow Me for Lucario, which is a great mod, but it's not really. It's not really a Follow Me Pokemon.
No,
like,
it's not really.
It's like a redirect. Like it has it, which can really help in certain situations, but you're not playing like a redirection mode when you bring Lucario.
No. Yeah, it was surprising that Renickles, like, it's just such a good Trick Roomer. Like, and Dusclops, for example, is picked really late and works okay with Renickles.
Yeah.
And there are other things, so I don't know. And the team also has like all kinds of speed tiers. I mean, it's kind of like a Tailwind team, sort of, with Aerodactyl setting up Tailwind.
Yeah, it's definitely a fast team. That's why I'm slightly surprised to see the Renickles. And actually, Aerodactyl, it's got Aerodactyl, Kingdra, Gyarados. Yeah, I'm also surprised to see Kingdra in a non-Follow Me or Rain team. But
do you think he just picked it because he didn't want anyone else to have it?
This could be a really could be a good reason, and I think that's a very good reason to pick Kingdra, is that no one else will have it. But I would expect if you have Renickles and Kingdra, I would expect you to pick at least 2 redirection mons, and it's not like it's not like we ran out of them. There was still a Lactabuzz, which didn't even get picked, and there was not all redirection. Togetic was also
Togetic is still. Oh no, you picked Togetic. Okay.
Yeah. So there was redirection left. So I'm surprised.
Togetic is definitely not a bad redirection user at all. It's pretty good for a draft.
It has strong mons, but I think the support for the support synergy
it's
for
kind of
some
lacking.
mons.
It's just a bunch of threats, honestly.
Yeah.
All right, let's move on to one of the teams that I think personally is incredible for a draft league.
Yeah. Well, okay. I'll already say it. I think it's the best draft in this series. Excretil Titar. What can you say?
What can you say? GG.
Yeah, it's just you already fear the rest of the team before, you just see those two and you're already having some serious doubt if whether you can even beat them. But then the rest of the draft was just constructed really well. Braviary might seem as a surprise pick, but it's actually it's a really good one.
You mean it's Staraptor?
Why did I'm so used to Staraptor. I'm so used to Braviary being next to them because of Defiant.
Right.
Staraptor. But yeah, it's extremely common to play the Sand Core with a bird. That's basically the Sand Core. So Staraptor, I would have. I mean, you could have picked another bird, but Staraptor is very underrated in a sense. It has Intimidate. It has great stats.
Just Final Gambit.
Yeah, it has Final Gambit. It's a great doubles mon. So I'm if you had to pick a bird, then it's not a bad bird to pick.
I mean, they could have still picked Braviary because it hasn't been picked at all.
Braviary doesn't get Defiant in.
It doesn't.
Pokemon.
Okay. Well,
Yeah,
Good
that's
your
why.
shit.
That's why. Yeah, yeah. In later gens, it's usually Bravery thanks to Defiant.
Right.
But yeah, I'm surprised to see that Julian took Staraptor rather than Crobat. Like Crobat is usually the more common way to play Sand.
Yeah.
But Staraptor definitely not a bad pick. I would say, in fact, it's a great pick.
Yeah, but I think it's also because like all the Intimidators at some point were getting picked,
Yeah,
and yeah, so it
yeah,
was
that's
like
true.
Gyarados, him on top. Like you aren't left with Salmons was picked. You aren't left
Yeah,
with many great Intimidate tools.
yeah. Then I really like the kind of a soft trick room mode the team
Mm-hmm.
has with Bronzong, Slowking, and Electros, basically. With Tyranitar, like Eel, Bronzong, Slowking, Electros that's a standalone trick room team. Like you could have that as a trick room core, and it could beat like if a team would be weak to trick room, those four would just take the matchup.
Yeah,
Um,
it's just don't have to say much about it actually, but we are just explaining why, I guess, why it's such a great team. Like every pick is calculated. I think every pick is like helps the team out in some way really well, basically.
yeah, and you can really see how much Julian likes screens. You know, the Frostlass, Superior.
Superior
Yeah, they're
Bronzong.
like very useful mons. In general, like there's no matchup where they're useless. But like you can clearly see he always wants to have like a screen setter at his
Yeah,
disposal.
he basically has it all. He has so many things he can do with his team. So yeah, like you could run this. You could pick 6 Pokemon and run it in like the ladder, and probably do well with it.
Yeah, exactly.
All right. Well, the dankest team around.
The dankest team around. Yeah, I mean the VGC brothers had to go with the theme.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Um, well, first of all, I wanna hear you talk
My
about my team.
thoughts. Yeah, I thought Chandler was a really good pick first. Like, I wouldn't ever consider it as my first pick, basically, but I know you like your Trick Room, and Chandler it's Frill, but maybe one of the best Trick Room users because it also has Imprison. So if you're
Yeah,
against another Trick Room user, Trick Room team, and you think like, hey, my Trick Room is less Trick Roomy than their Trick Room, then you trick their Trick
exactly.
Room.
Yeah,
And yeah, Hariyama, just excellent fake out user, excellent in Trick Room. And then the Garchomp and Crobat, Pink and I were like, man, Orange must be thinking we are freaking idiots for not picking Garchomp or Crobat off sooner.
yeah,
But yeah, like Garchomp and Crobat, they are so good as third and fourth pick that you could see them as first and second pick, honestly. And you have them as the third and fourth, you know? So really solid. Those four are just so good. And then you just filled the team up with things that supported, like you have the Garchomp with the Togetic. You have Togetic with the Marowak, which actually also has Lightning Rod. That's really scary. And you even have a sun mode I guess if you're against someone like Julian, that you'd like to reset the weather somehow. So yeah, those are my quick thoughts about it. What about you?
yeah. Yeah. A little bit of backstory. I mean, our draft we drafted with Imabe. We were discussing all the time what we're
Mm-hmm.
gonna do, and yeah, this is as much as credit to Imabe. He actually talked to me to have some sense multiple times.
Mm-hmm.
Basically, I wanted to read Nicholas first. We're gonna take a trick room core, but then he got taken. I started to like low key panic, and I'm like, no, we should make a rain team. And he's like, no, we take Chandelure. I'm like, okay.
So Chandler was
Because
his idea, huh?
yeah, because I was actually well, yeah, it was guaranteed that when we get Chandelure, that I would get at least Conkeldurr or Hariyama. That was the requirement. Like, if I want Chandelure, I want one of those two. So basically, at that point, we're like, okay, we're gonna get Chandy plus fight type. So let's start to work with that. Then at the third round, I think we had all kinds of ideas for Trick Room mons, but I think I just like noticed like, wait, hold the fuck on! Nobody has taken Guard Jump.
Yep, that's what I thought.
This is such an opportunity. Like, even if it doesn't get Sword Stance anymore, it's a pseudo legendary that spams Stab Earthquake.
Yeah.
Like, do I need to say more?
Oh, no, you don't.
Yeah. Basically, with that, we realized like, let's have a fast mode. So you know, Crobat and Garchomp really work with that.
And I honestly also was surprised that Crobat even was left for fourth pick.
It's I think the best Tailwind user after Whimsicott, so I was equally surprised. Then I was. These were basically, they were like Chandy was decided, then react to Hariyama. Garchomp was decided, then react to Crobat. Then like this Torkoal was completely ad hoc pick. I just like look at Mons. I was like, hey, I was just like look at Mons, and I just realized like what are the weather setters that are left? I'm like nobody has taken Torkoal, and I'm like we have Chandelure, and we know that we're kind of going for a Trick Room mode. So
right, you have Chandelure as well.
So like, could I? And also like, this is actually the point we thought of taking a Trick Room setter like Slowking or Slowbro, but we kind of knew that there was going to be a Trick Room setter.
Yeah.
Anyways, but like, there's only one Torkoal, so we were like, okay, let's just take the Sun mode. So yeah, we got the Lilycole, which is kind of nasty combo. But yeah, at this point we were supposed to take a Trick Room pick, but then we're like, okay, now we have to take the Trick Room, and we just look what's available. We wanted to take Slowking or Slowbro, but unsurprisingly, Zai and Julian took those two. So then we were just like, well, the best Trick Room setter left is Behemoth, which is basically like a budget ridiculous.
Yes, but it's okay with Marowak and Garchomp.
Yeah, exactly. So we were. I was like, well, as you can see, like, well, then there was the Tagaki for redirection.
Yeah,
Marowak is actually like, that was kind of I kind of rammed it in. Like, I just wanted to take Marowak. I was a kind of a maybe adamant, slightly. How would I say?
Did you want on Marowak?
Yeah, I was like, if I pick a Behemoth, I will just pick a Marowak. Like, those are the rules.
And so, it fits in your team, honestly. Like,
yeah,
you have the Behemoth, you have Crobat, you have Togetic, which Togetic and Marowak on their own work really well together, I'd say.
Yeah. Then the last big week, I kind of ran out of ideas, but I was like, I just look at Mons, and later we like MB said like we should have taken Poliwrath, which is maybe I kind of agree with it, but like I was just looking at like Chlorophyll Mons, and I felt like Saucebox is pretty decent. So if I like really want to go hard on the Sun mode, then having two Sun Sweepers is.
Yeah. Well, next week you can still trade one Pokemon between teams or an undrafted Pokemon.
Oh, so. Okay. Well, now that I say it, somebody's gonna tend to take it.
Well, you probably still have more ideas than that. So.
Yeah, I do. But I actually, surprisingly, in the game against Captain Baklava.
Yeah. Team Geschmacksverkalkung.
Yeah, Saucebox was very solid.
Oh, you used Saucebox? Oh God.
Oh yeah, I did. I really liked it. Yeah, that was the game I had the wrong ability on my Torkoal, but.
Oh, okay. So it didn't even have Chlorophyll activated. What is this?
Yeah. But yeah, that's basically. I would say if there's, I also took like the similar thing that I would say, Kasai and RDL, those Yuki Paka's fighter has was basically the Tailwind Trick Room mode, which is what I really like to have. I guess if there's a one weakness in my team, it's that we realized it's kind of Ice Weak. In fact, it's extremely Ice Weak.
Yeah, and I think like spread moves in general, I guess.
Yeah, there's no White Guard. Well,
Does
actually,
Ariama gets white guard, I
Aryama
think.
has White Guard.
Yeah.
So, but there's like, but that's not really a White Guard user you want to generally use. But I mean, if I have to, then I have to. But yeah, I would say it's a bit Ice Weak. But then you have like, I have like 2 fire types, so it's not like I'm just gonna get dumped by
Exactly.
ice.
And
attacks.
like the best ice users are probably a Abomasnow. You even have Crobat that you have Venilux, which isn't that fast.
Yeah,
So,
not really scared about like actually ice types, maybe
yeah.
like ice coverage.
Oh, ice
Because
coverage, right.
because
I was just
ice
thinking about
beam, ice
blizzards.
punch is like very common coverage moves.
Yeah.
So having to pick a team that is not like 4 times weak to ice is a little bit of an issue, but overall, I have to say I am surprisingly pleased.
Yeah. And apparently it all you guys had a plan and then you didn't.
Yeah, it's changed like every 30 seconds, and
yeah. But
yeah,
that's
the way IMB reacted, like he was the MVP of
yeah.
of the draft. So even though like I was eventually calling what we pick, but like he was like,
You might even say he's the very best.
yeah.
All right. Well, let's go to the last one. We've been going for way longer than I thought we would.
Yeah.
All right.
Well,
But the last team is Luke XD, which I mean, if I just glance at the team, I think it's really strong. But then, you know, when I just keep looking at it, I'm like, okay, maybe not that strong, but still pretty good. That's sums up my thoughts.
yeah, I am actually. I like the team.
Yeah.
I just maybe because it has such strong trick room mons like
Yeah.
Gigalith and Rhyperior,
yeah.
which I kind of feel like slightly may overlap, but they're still like they're strong core for Trick Room. But then you have like Jellicent, which is an amazing Pokemon, but it's very rarely that standalone Trick Rooms that are like. You also have Mr. Mime, which can theoretically set up Trick Room.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like it has strong Trick Room modes, but like its Trick Room, I think its Trick Room setters are somewhat unreliable.
But I do think Matt's team was is more a Tailwind team primarily, with Rotowash, Mamoswine.
I don't think it's actually that fast. Its fastest mon is based 100.
Yeah, but I mean that's what Tailwind is for usually, right? To
yeah, but
it's
still like it's also like a reactive Tailwind.
Yeah, that's true.
Elements.
Yeah.
So it's I think it's like the most of the mons are like around 80 speed, like Rotom,
yeah,
Mamoswine, and then you have Breloom.
I do think the team has a very good type synergy.
Yeah, I think it has probably among the best type synergies of any draft. I'm just like, the first thing that just always catches my eye is the speed control, and I feel like it's a little bit too reactive speed control. So yeah, like typing wise, it's great, but like the speed control, I think it's a little bit.
Yeah, it's kind of hard for him to get his like the Tailwind. Salmons isn't the fastest, like probably the 3rd or 4th best Tailwind user that we have.
Yeah.
And then Jellicent also, you know, it's prone to getting taunted or something. So you don't have a guaranteed way of getting your speed in.
Yeah. So I think there's like lots of great mons, but because the team is going to be attacking second quite often, like it's going to need a lot of predictions to turn those games in the favor.
Yeah, he just does. He has. I'm facing him this week actually, and it's hard to build against him, I'd say, because yeah, like you said, all his Pokemon are so strong on their own, you know?
Yeah, I think it's like one of those teams when you look at like the 10 mons that somebody has, you can usually how would I say, like you can pretty much distinguish like that these 4 or 5 they're gonna bring for sure, and from these 1, 2, 3 or 1, 2, 3 mons like are questionable, but you kind of have an idea like what they're going to bring. But looking at their team, you're going to have no idea. Like they could bring any of those 10. So in that sense, it's
and
like
it would all be good.
Yeah,
it would all be decent.
all of them are good mons. So I do think that I'm
Yeah,
surprising to see like Mr. Mime 10th pick because it's actually a great mon, which like
yeah.
fake out white guard.
It has all the
Totally.
support things actually.
Yeah, it's one of the best supporters,
Yeah,
and
and even does it get icy wind? It might. I don't know.
I'm not sure. But
Yeah,
fake
but
out, follow me, white guard is like already pretty much the
basically all
best
you
support you
need.
can ask for.
Yeah, it's just so frail. I guess that's the thing, right? But yeah. Um, yeah, I think the thing is like Matt is just that kind of team that if he plays it well, he can win any matchup.
Yeah, needs predictions, but with predictions,
Yeah,
there are some serious threats.
yeah, for sure. Anyway, that's basically wraps up our thoughts, I think. What do you think,
All right.
Orange? We good?
Yeah, I mean, thanks for having me.
Yeah, thanks for doing this with me. It's quite fun. Yeah, we might do some more like doubles match coverage or something, Orange and I, or maybe someone else with me. Uh, uh, we'll see how it goes. We'd like to have some more coverage on the event. It's because like it's a draft league, right? So you want to kind of do some theory crafting, talk about matches and stuff. So that's the fun
Yeah,
part of it.
I really wish like the creative side of our game would activate with it. Like especially when you look at VGC's side, like those draft leagues are usually the one that attract pretty much the most like YouTube.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah, because you don't have to be good or something. You just have fun. That's
exactly. So it's like it's going to be like a very interesting and entertaining thing to watch. So I really hope that everybody who has a computer that can
yeah,
like record playing. So yeah,
yeah,
I would be really happy to see like more content creators in MMO.
yeah. I think for sure it's the game for it, right? So
Yeah,
if you're listening to this and you would like to do this with me with the singles teams for example, feel free to contact me, and then yeah, and maybe record your own matches and talk about them and share the love, basically. All right, Orange. Thanks for this again, and thanks to everyone listening. Hope you didn't fall asleep.
yeah, this became very long, but
Yeah,
I'm sure you manage.
yeah. This is like this podcast, you know. It's just like you have it on the background, and we have such crisp voices. Everyone's just gonna fall asleep while listening to
Yeah,
us. Sounds good and creepy. All right, guys.
exactly.
That's it. See you later.
See ya.